Hello everybody, Adam Monk here again with another video for FourFourTwo. Well, about that, another video. So, little insider secret. This video was meant to be a preview for the Charity Shield. And basically, long story short, I weighed it up. I mean, you've seen what the title of the video is now. You know that's not what it is. I weighed up the pre-seasons of Manchester City and Manchester United, and I came to this conclusion. So to give you a quick overview, City took 4 senior players initially, and Kalvin Phillips was playing right back, and he'll probably, in 2 weeks' time, be playing at Boreham Wood. City won 1 game. It was a 4-2 win against Chelsea. Haaland was gifted 2 of those goals, so we can't really count that one. And like Rodri, Foden, Kyle Walker, John Stones, they're not back for the Charity Shield, so it's kind of hard to know who's going to play there. Then, as for Manchester United, boy, I mean, right, let's go through the injuries. So you got Marcus Rashford, Anthony, Luke Shaw, 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗏, Lenny Yoro, Rasmus Haaland. I think that's off the top of my head. I think that's all the ones who were out there. And then obviously Kobbie Mainoo's not back for the Charity Shield either. And also Jadon Sancho was leading the line in the latter stages of the pre-season for United, and consequently he scored 0 goals because he doesn't play there. So when weighing up who was going to play in the Charity Shield, how it was going to pan out, I kind of came to the conclusion that it was going to be a disjointed mess. And then I also realised I don't care because it's a friendly. They also shouldn't be giving out plates as trophies as well. The game's gone, Jeff. So anyway, let's talk about the bloke in question, Savinho. I don't really know what his name is, so that's a good start. So Savinho. Let's go with Savinho. What do you need to know about Savinho? Well, he plays predominantly right wing for Brazil, predominantly left wing for Girona, or at least he did last season. He got 11 goals and 10 assists in La Liga and averages 2.8 dribbles per 90. And if you think about that kind of profile of player, he's left-footed, likes to hug the width, can play on the right-hand side, and does for Brazil. Who does that remind you of? Cough, cough. Yeah, he's quite a similar profile to Riyad Mahrez in that sense. And Riyad Mahrez, despite City winning the league last year, I think was sorely missed, purely because of the goal output that he had in that side. Of course, he took set pieces for City. Savinho might not, but just the profile of player to be able to hug that right-hand side was sorely missed, because City last season didn't really have many goals from out wide. Foden, of course, started playing in the number 10 position. Grealish protests against scoring goals, and it was Doku's first season. So it was a bit of a sticky one for City, but Savio gives Pep a lot more tactical flexibility. Not only that though, there's been a big transfer to La Liga this week, and that is of course Julian Alvarez. So that begs the question, some of you might be thinking, some of the casuals, well surely Pep's going to sign another striker. I can assure you he is not, because Alvarez's departure means false 9 is back, baby.
And if that's not a true story, I think it's a great story, so we'll just go with it anyway.
I guess the overarching point I'm going to make in this video is that Savinho, given the fact he can play on the left and the right, gives Pep 2 options that he couldn't deploy last season. He has done in previous seasons, but he wasn't able to last season. Not only that though, Savio's attributes also maintain something in the squad that Pep already really values. And that is ball carrying. Jack Grealish is very good at it, De Bruyne's very good at it, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, City signed Matheus Nunes as well because of Nunes' ball carrying ability. And you can see there 116 long progressive carries last season for Girona. Of course, a lot of them on the left hand side, but Pep always wants that. So, system number 1 that Pep can revert back to is when Erling Haaland is fit, and it's a system very akin to what he played in the 17-18 season, whereby he had 2 pacey wingers, one on the left, one on the right. The one on the right was right-footed, the one on the left was left-footed. That was Leroy Sané and Raheem Sterling. He can similarly replicate that now with Savinho on the left and Jeremy Doku on the right. You'll remember these clips I'm about to show you here of Leroy Sané wreaking havoc in that season, and you'll remember when City got 100 points in that side, City were very transitional, using De Bruyne's passing range and Sané's pace to get him behind, and also Raheem Sterling's as well, of course. This one being a prime example away at Selhurst Park, where he broke through and finished into the roof of the net. Got another one for you here at home to Burnley, a defence splitting pass, this one to Leroy Sané, again from Kevin De Bruyne in transition, slotted away with aplomb. Now, Jeremy Doku, for one, has already showcased that he can perform on the right-hand side for City, namely at home to Bournemouth, where he kept getting to the byline, that position Pep just loves his attackers to get to, where they can cut it across the face of the area. We know Doku's got that pace, but he's also got that dribbling ability ability as well to just completely twist someone's blood and then fire it across the face of goal. Pep wants that. He wants the ability for someone to be lethal in transition when there's space to exploit, but also if there's men behind the ball, players who can dribble. And like I said at the start, Savinho, 2.8 attempted dribbles per 90. And comparing Doku and Savinho last season as well, Savinho, 104 take-ons completed, Doku, 87. Of course, Savinho played about 8 more games than Jeremy Doku, and Doku has slightly better take-on success with 57.62 compared to Savinho's 53.61. But they're very, very similar players in terms of their ability to beat a man, whether there's spacing behind or a bank of 10. And if you look at some of these Savinho clips for Girona last season where he's hugging that left-hand side, you're going to see this manoeuvre repeated a lot where he gets to the byline and plays a chipped ball to the back post. Now note, this big fella, this big Eastern European gangly freak that Girona have got up front. I mean, Girona are City's sister club, so they're probably following in the footsteps of us. His name is 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗂𝗫. He's a big lad, he's strong, and he likes to head the ball. Now, Opta Analyst very kindly assembled 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗂𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗏's forward template, and they banded together his percentile rank versus forwards with at least 500 minutes played, and they found that the player he was most similar to was Mr. Erling Haaland. And one thing we know about Erling Haaland is he loves those crosses towards the back post where it's floated and he has time to have that sort of hang time and jump over someone and nod it into the far corner. In this system, when Savinho's on the left, you're going to see a hell of a lot of these assists where he beats a man, he clips it, and there it is, slam dunk. Couple of examples here as well. It was Jack Grealish clipping this one to the back post at Bramall Lane, and then one at Old Trafford as well. Very, very similar. And that one was from Bernardo Silva. But now we've got a tricky winger who can do the business by himself. We don't even necessarily need those intricate combinations that led to those chances being created. Couple more examples of this as well. Another clipped cross as well. They're very, very chipped and floated, and that big fella nearly scored there. I'll give you another one on the house as well. This evaded the big man but was headed at the back post nonetheless. Not only that though, you want the transitional Leroy Sané-esque kind of play where there's spacing behind, well he can do that too. As seen here, hit into acres of space and then played across the face, and that big fella missed again. Now, just as a side note, this 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗂𝗫𝗧𝗏 fella that I'm seemingly slagging off actually won the Golden Boot in La Liga this season, but given the amount of chances that I'm looking at here that he did squander, he could have had about 60, but we'll leave it at that. He still had a good season, 24 goals. But again, you want that pacing behind that transition. This is a simple ball slid down the line, and he has just got the pace to get the better of the fullback. Cropped, but gets back up. So overall, System 1, when Erling Haaland's fit, Doku on the right, Savio on the left, transitional, direct, balls across the face of goal, because Haaland's a freak. What if Haaland's injured though? What do you do? Alvarez is gone. You don't worry, because when Haaland wasn't here, City played false 9 and won 2 Premier League titles. Those false 9 systems were really death by 1,000 passes. It was Grealish, of course, missed the ball retention himself, hugging that left-hand side. Then you have Bernardo Silva or Riyad Mahrez, who I said was very stylistically similar to Savinho on that right-hand side. Players who can retain the ball, recycle it, and then be incisive when they need to be. So when Haaland's injured, you put Kevin De Bruyne or Phil Foden in that false 9. You then have the likes of 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗂𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗃 who can fill that void in the number 10/8 position when you do have a false 9. And then you've got a very similar system to what you had 2 years ago. These were some examples of the goals scored way back then. Riyad Mahrez here at West Bromwich Albion away. I mean, this is a typical Mahrez goal. You've seen about 50 of these, but we had that in our locker at the time. Sorry, I meant to be impartial, Manchester City. But also that ability for City to bide their time, use combinations out wide, and then have one of those in-swinging crosses. I think that's a key thing. Left-footed, right-hand side, right-footed, left-hand side, those in-swinging crosses that are then consequently converted. To be fair, this was a bloody good header against Real Madrid, but still, that kind of goal was missing from Manchester City last season. So here's some lovely Savinho clips as well for you to indulge on that are very, very reminiscent of Riyad Mahrez. Do I even need to explain this one? Jinx inside, strike across the face of goal, and it's in the back of the onion bag. This is honestly just like, it's like watching Riyad Mahrez. It's so stylistically similar. And this one I think is the one I love the most. It's that kind of pause, that little wait. Riyad Mahrez used to do it as well, where he had that low centre of gravity, and then he quickly jinxes inside onto his left foot and plays one of those in-swinging crosses across the face of goal. So stylistically, Savinho is almost a hybridised combination of what City had in Riyad Mahrez, but also Leroy Sané. So you got that ball carrying ability, the ability to beat a man, get a ball across the face of goal, or to bide your time, cut inside, finish, or put one of those in-swinging crosses in. He ticks every box that you really want from a winger. And now Alvarez has gone, the false 9 is back, but also we can play, stop saying we. City can play a lot more directly with Erling Haaland up front. Anyway, guys, yes, hope you enjoyed the video. Quick little overview of what you probably will be seeing from Pep Guardiola's Manchester City going forward this season. You might not see it in the Charity Shield, though, because none of them will probably play. Savinho will, I think, but most of them aren't there, so it won't be the finished article. Don't forget to subscribe, though, guys. You can see the new edition of the mag here, Premier League season preview. It's the big one, so you can buy that at any good retailer if you wish, at _AdamMonk on socials if you want to check me out. And yeah, that's it. Onwards and upwards, and next week the season will properly start, which is what we're all waiting for. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Have a lovely day. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.